Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Fearless Frogs Creating Craft Online. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Nicola. I would normally have my little sidekick Ivy with me, but she's ventured outside and doesn't want to come back in at the moment, so I'm going to have a go without her. Anyway, I thought I would start by asking this afternoon, how many of you like to watch Bits and Bob on CBeebies? I love it. I think it's fantastic as a great little series to watch because it's all about these two people called Bits and Bob who like to make absolutely amazing things for their toys to play with. They come up with all sorts of different ideas and they use their imagination. And this is exactly what this year's theme is all about for British Science Week. It's all about innovating for the future. So if you like things like that on Bits and Bob, you might like science. So it'd be a really good idea to check out their website. Now, I did pop on there earlier today, in fact, just a few minutes ago, and it looks like their website's gone down. I wonder if it's because so many people are trying to get onto their website. However, Bits and Bob do some fantastic things as well on their website on CBeebies. So if you like what we do today, you might want to go and see what other things they've got on their website to do as well. Okay? So just have a quick look at this then. I'm going to move it across very carefully because it's quite warm. How many of you know what one of these is? I reckon the adults at home will know that this is a lava lamp. Now it's actually really quite warm because there's a lamp at the bottom here that warms up the wax. And as that wax gets warm, it starts to rise up in this big blob in the liquid. But then as it gets higher up, it gets cooler and it drops back down. And it's absolutely mesmerising to watch. Now, who would like to make their own version of one of these? Now, we're not going to make it exactly the same, because I don't know if you realise, but this will take probably about an hour or so to heat up. So when it first starts off, it's all this big blob of wax at the bottom and it takes a long time to heat up. So we're not going to quite do it the same, but something similar. Oh, hello, Aoife. Glad to see you're here with us today. Fantastic. Let me know anybody else that's here with us today as we kick off Science Week today. So what we're going to need in front of us, I'm just going to move my lava lamp out the way very carefully. My table's a little bit wobbly today. Okay, I'm just going to put that to the side there. Okay, what we're going to need to start with today is a jar or a plastic bottle. Now, ideally with a lid, because that means you can keep hold of the things that we put in this jar for another day. Okay, so I've just got a glass jar here. I've tried it before in a big plastic bottle that you can get left over from bubble bath, for instance. So as long as it's well rinsed out, anything as long as it's clear is what you want. So you want to take any sticky labels off them as well, so you can see it nice and clear in there. Okay, so I'm going to pop it on a little shallow tray, just in case we have any spillages, because that is very possible. All right, so the first thing we need is our oil. Now, I've just got some vegetable oil, sunflower oil, but you can use vegetable oil as well. I have a feeling you can use things like baby oil and stuff like that. I've never used it with that, but we always have oil in for cooking. So I've grabbed some of this and I'm going to pour some into a jug to make it easier. Now, you're going to be filling the jar about 2/3 full. So I'm just going to pull it in to my jug, so it's a bit easier to pour into my jar. Okay, so get a load of oil into your jug. And ideally, as I say, you need it filled up, but not to the top. You want it quite high. So probably about there is where I'm going to do it. I've actually got a little bit of writing on there. So I'll probably do it around about that point. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do first. You just pour the oil into the jar. There we go. A little bit more. Or you can see a few air bubbles in the oil. Don't know how well you can see it perhaps on screen there. Okay, you see a few air bubbles in there. Brilliant. That's probably about enough for now. If I just move it a little bit closer forwards, perhaps you can see a bit easier. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Okay, right, and then pop that to one side. All right, The next bit we're going to do is we're going to get some water, and it's probably a good idea to have it in a small container because we're going to add enough water to take it close to the top. So you only need a little bit of water to add in. Okay, so I've got an old plastic bottle. I think it was a hand wash bottle. Seem to have a lot of those around at the moment. So I've got an old plastic bottle and I've just put some water in there, probably more than I need really. Okay, so there's my plastic bottle and I've got some water in there ready. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some food colouring to this bottle, okay, so that we can colour our water. Now if you remember the lava lamp, just bring it along. Perhaps you can't see it very well there actually. Let's pull it back a second. Here we go. So if you remember our lava lamp, you've got the clear liquid in the background and then the lovely bright vibrant red of the wax. Okay, so the colours that work well for things like this are really bright vibrant colours. Reds, blues, those sorts of colours. Purples for instance would work well as well because they would show up really nicely in the bottle. So I'm just going to pop that to one side for a second. Okay, and I'm going to choose what looks like a cherry red. So I've got little red food colouring. Okay, and I'm going to pop that, a few drops of that, into the water. So here we go. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, bright red, look at that. Lovely colour. Okay, so adding a few drops of... Oh, hello. I didn't think you would want to come and join me today. Well, you know what? If you're going to join in then, Poppet, let's get that white jumper off because I don't think that would be a good plan to have around this. Do you? Yeah? So, can we put Teddy up here? Oh, your hands are so cold. Have you had fun?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We've been on everything.
You've been on everything. Super.
We're not being on big old swings.
Not been on the big girl swings? No. Okie dokie. Do you want to say hello to everybody? Aoife's online. Say hello, Aoife.
Hello.
Lovely. Brilliant. So, Ivy, you can have a go at helping out with this. I've just put some red food colouring in our water. I would like you to give it a bit of a stir. So I've just got the end of a paintbrush here. I like to put it in the bottle. Do the bottom end, this end. Don't put the brush in. Do the bottom end of it, that way. I'm going to give it a bit of a stir, so it's well stirred in. Give it a stir. That's it. So we've got a really good red coloured water there. Okay. Good stuff. Well done. All right. Now, just to fill Ivy in, as she's just arrived, in our little jar, we've got some oil. And we're going to make our own version of this lava lamp. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, Ivy, is we're going to pour the water in really carefully into the top of the jar. Do you think you can pour some in?
Yeah.
So hold the bottle of water. Use both hands. Hang on, leave that down. Put both hands on the bottle. And you're very carefully going to pour it into the jar. Do you think you can do that? Go on then. I'll hold the jar. You hold both hands on the bottle. And you're going to pour it in. Think you can do that? Do you want me to help? Yeah, keep your hands on it then. So you can feel it's like, I'm going to pour it on there. Now look at that. Can you see what's happening there? Don't know how well you can see it on screen. Look at the water. It doesn't sit on top of the oil. It's actually going to the bottom of the bottle. I think that's probably enough there, Poppet. So let's show everybody at home what we've got. So can you see that? We've got the oil here. And the water, because it's a bigger density, it's gone to the bottom. Okay, so the water is a higher density, so it's a different sort of liquid, so it's gone to the bottom of the jar. Can you see it all settling there? Now you might see you've got a few bubbles that have arisen as well. Now we want that to settle a little bit because the experiment works a bit better if it's all settled at the bottom. All right. So let's leave that there so we can see it. Now next comes the very exciting bit, the bit that makes the bubbles and the fizz. Okay, so the next bit we need are these things, which are Alka seltzer tablets. Okay, now these are tablets, they're not sweeties, and I'm sure Yeah, I'm sure the adults with you will tell you all about that. So we're not going to put these in your mouths, all right? Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to get them ready to put into our lava lamp, all right?
I'll put it in there.
So I don't want them to go straight in. What we're going to do is we're going to get them out of the packet and we're going to break them up into 4, okay? So see if you can have a go. Break it in half, first of all. See if you can break it. Sorry? Break it with your hands. Can you break it? Might be quite hard. Have a go. I'll keep your hands on it and I'll try and break it with you. Oh, there we go. Drop it on there. Brilliant. So you've got broken it into little bits. Like that. Okay? All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop them into the jar. All right. So at the moment, we've got the water at the bottom because it's a higher density than the vegetable oil that we've got there. What will happen is when we put the tablets in, hang on just a second. When we put the tablets in, it will create these gas bits out of the water and they will come rising up into the vegetable oil or the sunflower oil. So shall we have a go and see what happens? You're going to pop one in for me, Ivy. If I hold the table still, you see what happens. Let's watch. Can you see? Look at all the bubbles coming up.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, all the bubbles are coming up nicely. Put another one in then. Let's see what happens. Can you see it coming up? Not sure how well it shows on the camera, actually. You can't see it that well. But there we go, look. Look at those. You put some more in. Look at those bubbles coming up. Proper fizzing away. There's a tiny little bit left there. Wow, doesn't that look good?
Do that again.
We'll do another one in a minute, absolutely. So if you're having a watch from at home and you're having a go, I'd love to see an example of what you managed to do. Take a picture of it or a little video and you can pop it on the comments as well. If you really enjoyed this sort of thing, as I mentioned before, Bits and Bobs have got a few different experiments on their CBeebies website. So you could pop over there and go and have a look and see what they've got. If anybody's really into and enjoying doing different crafting activities, but you're feeling a little bit stuck about what sort of things to have in at home so that you can have a go at it, if you just pop freebie in the comments and I'll send you a link that will help you get organised for our next crafting activities. I'm really enjoying doing these Friday activities with people online, so I'll keep them going for a bit longer and I'll let you know what we have coming up next week. And it might just be a little bit of a surprise for the mummies out there. Okay, I shall leave it there and speak to you all again soon. Bye-bye. Bye.
It's gone. It's gone now, Mummy.